36th race of our championship year is now complete. The Sydney 500, sponsored by NRMA Motoring and Services. A fantastic weekend of racing and another fantastic result in the top three places at the completion of 74 laps. For Red Bull Racing Australia, Jamie Whincup. For Team BOC and Brad Jones Racing, Jason Bright. And winning for Team VOP and Techno Autosports, Shane Van Gisbergen. And of course, we see history made here today at Sydney Olympic Park, with Jamie Whincup now tying as the equal winner of the most championships in the history of the Australian Touring Car Championship and the V8 Supercar Championship. Please put your hands together for our race winner and our champion of 2013. I'll just start with you, Shane, if I could. Your fourth win of the season. You started it with a win on the streets of Adelaide, and of course you were in the news last night, but you couldn't have had a better race day.
Yeah, it was awesome. There was plenty of action, especially from about lap 15, 20 onwards, because there were so many different strategies going on. And then after the safety car, when these guys pitted, we stayed out. Effectively, we were the other way around. We were the ones who were losing on fuel, so I had to pull a gap, and we came out right with Jamie there, and he got me out of turn one. But yeah, car was faultless all race and able to pass people on the street circuit relatively comfortably today, which is always good. And to come away with another win was a great way to finish the year.
Fifth in the championship, equal to your best previously under Stone Brothers guys. Can you go 1, 2, 3 or 4 better next year?
Yeah, I think so. I think we have the car to do it, and a few times this year I've made a few mistakes and also strategy blunders, but we've had a pretty fast car all round. So I think next year, if we can get a few updates from Uncle Roland up the back there, we might be able to challenge Jamie.
Fantastic effort to yourself and your team, a brilliant result. Jason, been a great year for yourself and Fabian Coulthard, both well inside the top 10 in the championship, and obviously multiple winners and multiple pole positions. Was that probably the toughest second place of the year?
It was a good battle. I mean, like Shane said, there was a few different strategies going on. You know, we pitted when everyone else did, and figured that Jamie and Frosty were going to go to the end as well. So we were just conserving fuel, aiming for the end, and then it sort of became apparent not long after the restart that we were the only ones heading all the way to the end. But we were sort of hitting our numbers that we needed to make it to the end. So they were just like, you know, keep doing those numbers, and you know, we're going to make it. So I was a bit disappointed to see the safety car come, because you know, I think we would have been able to hang on to a reasonable lead.
42 laps all the way to the end is pretty good going, but what about the lap when you had the champion next to you banging wheels in the final corner? What were you thinking then?
Wish he'd get out of my door. Yeah, we were a bit lucky there, because I didn't know Jamie was there, because I was sort of too busy tangling with Shane, and first I sort of knew about it was he was in my door, and I was sort of looking out the side window trying to go down the main straight. So we were a little bit lucky to get away with that, and you know, I knew my only chance was probably to have another go at the next corner, and we were able to get him back. So we had, you know, the car was much better today. Yesterday we really struggled off the corners, but we had good speed by ourselves. I felt as though we made a good gain overnight, but Shane was certainly very quick.
7th in the championship, a father this year and a marriage beckoning. What do you have to do to actually get a championship in your corner? You've been in the mix for a long period of time.
Well, this year I thought that, you know, we were a shot at the start of the year, and you know, the street tracks really hurt us. We had a disaster at Adelaide. Townsville was a bit of a disaster. Gold Coast was, yeah, more than a disaster. So I really wanted to come here and you know, prove that we'd got on top of our street track problems, and you know, the pace we had this weekend, I thought, proved that. You know, we qualified top 5 both days and ended up getting a podium, which we haven't been able to do on a street track all year. So that's probably the ingredient that we missed this year to be able to put a whole championship together. So, you know, I'm looking forward to next year.
And you will go into 2014 as the oldest full-time driver, with Russell Ingall vacating. So you are the elder statesman. Great year for yourself. Just proving there's life in the old dog yet. Jamie, the names at the top of the order are fantastic when we go through them. Ian, Pete Gagan, Dick Johnson, Mark Scaife, now Jamie Whincup. Just talk us through what that genuinely means to you as a student of the sport who's come up through karting, Formula Ford, and obviously now a 5-time champion.
Yeah, of course the numbers, the numbers massive, I must admit. I was happy with my first championship, to be honest, and we just keep plugging away each year. And I thought I'd lost my. I had a big opportunity to go 3 in a row in 2010, and sort of threw it away here. So I never thought that would happen again, but thankfully for me, 3 years later, I was given another opportunity, and to do the 3 in a row is is very, very special. But my main motivation this year was, there was a lot of talk last year that our cars were better, and we'd got the old car working that well that it was fairly bulletproof. But this year we've sort of eliminated most of that. Car of the future, everyone's got the same chassis, same uprights. All these boys beside me got pretty much exactly the same gear, and we go out there and race hard, and it all comes back to that human element of digging deep on the big day. And I just feel our teams it did a phenomenal job. It was the best over the year, and to finish 1, 2, 3 years in a row is pretty special.
5 championships in 8 years with Triple Eight Race Engineering, 2 seconds and a 10th in your debut year in 2006. How do you repay Roland not including these championships with the wisdom he had to choose you after that drive at Bathurst with the Tasman Motorsport team?
Of course, it's a great story. Getting a start in the category, they're missing out on 2004. I don't want to dwell on the past, but got back in, and I just went and had a meeting at the end of 2005 and said I'll pretty much drive for nothing. Just give me an opportunity, And I had some fairly high calibre people tell me definitely don't join the team. It's Craig Lowndes makes all his teammates look really ordinary, and you'll be the next one. He's had 7 different teammates in 7 years, and you'll end up back on the scrap heap, But I backed myself and got a really good bunch of guys around me to help me out, and we've really started to move forward and develop. And it's incredible sitting here with 5 championships now. I'm a huge fan of Scafey, what he did. To join him on that number of championships, there's clearly a lot of debate over poles and wins. We do more races this year, and But the championship numbers, it doesn't matter how many races or anything like that. That's still the big number.
And what do you do to get the motivation back to go for 6 next year? You've just described what it took this year. But what are you going to do to find that motivation?
I'm not even thinking about that, to be honest. It's been an incredibly tough year behind the scenes with this new car. We've had to refine it from scratch. It was a fair animal rollout at Adelaide, and we've just burnt the midnight all of us, So we certainly need a well and true good earned break in the next couple of weeks.
You've certainly earned it, and you've earned your championship. Congratulations, Jamie, to yourself and the rest of your team. A few other championship changes, just to recap before we go to some questions. Will Davison actually eclipsed his teammate for 3rd, having passed Alex, the older brother, on the last lap. Might have been a bit of inter-team help there, who knows. And Scott McLaughlin, the highest placed rookie on debut in the championship this year, in 10th place. Okay, some questions, please. Roving mics, hands up, and let's fire away.
Jamie, can you just talk us through those laps where you were in that dice, firstly with Reynolds and then with Jason and Shane? Just were you worried that you could end up potentially out of the race at some stage, particularly when a little rub with Jason?
Yeah, I was really enjoying it, to be honest. I had the championship in the back of my head, but all these things were going through my mind on the last 20 laps. What should I do? But I just couldn't help but race. These boys were just banging the walls every second corner. It was really good to watch. So I was more of a fan in 3rd than anything else. And then I was up the inside of Bridie, and when he turned in, I thought, oh no, he hasn't seen me. So I went 4 wheels over the inside curb to try to avoid it. Obviously a little bit of risk factor, but we're here to race. And at the end of the day, that's my whole motivation. I just love driving my car, and we do a lot of work behind the scenes to make the car better, to make it more enjoyable to drive the car. So it was really good fun.
Shane, a couple of race wins in a year you weren't planning to be here. How do you sum up your year?
I think I said on the radio on the last lap, this time last year was the worst day racing I've ever had, and probably this year is the opposite. It's been amazing, really, but I copped a lot of shit at the start of the year, and but I'm here racing. It's what I love to do, and racing the drifting in New Zealand, drifting, super tours, all that stuff I've never been allowed to do, and to go racing, all this stuff is the best thing ever. And actually yesterday I didn't actually count that podium, but this time I will, and that makes it 6 weeks in a row since Gold Coast all the different stuff I've raced, I've been on the podium. So drifting next week, I'll try and make it 7. But yeah, just loving going racing, and every time I get in the car, whatever it is, just push it to the limits. And yeah, it's been fun just driving the way I want this year.
Jamie, you say you were enjoying the latter part of the race, as indeed I think we all were. What about your crew in the pits? Was the radio running hot?
It wasn't actually. Duddo said, mate, you know what you're doing. I'm sure I did think of them. I thought this is probably not the best scenario. It was for those guys back in the pits, but you got to have a go. You know, I was the same time I was thinking of my crew, I was thinking of all the people that spent $100 to get in the gate, and I thought we're not circulating here. We're putting on a show.
Jason, just how close were you on fuel, and what were your tyres like?
Fuel-wise, you know, like I said, we were going to make it even without the safety car. I think I did the slowdown lap, so I had enough of that. I don't think there'd be much left though, because I got my light to pit on the last lap, which means that I wouldn't get around flat out a full another lap. So I think that it would be pretty tight. But saying that, I was running full, flat out for the whole last 20 laps or so, after the safety car. So, I wasn't saving fuel at that point. Tyres-wise, yeah, I mean, they were getting pretty tired. We did a fair stint on them, that's for sure. Mind you, when I was conserving fuel, you don't sort of burn them quite as much as what you do when you're going flat out. So, I was pretty happy with the pace that I could sort of still do, in clear air. When we sort of took off from the safety car, and I knew Reynolds had just pitted and put tyres on, and these guys had 20 lap better tyres, some of them. So I was pretty happy with the pace the car had.
Jamie, what was your mindset last night? Obviously, you've come out today and taken some risks and raced, but did you have a good think about how you were going to approach today, given that you had it almost in the bag?
Yeah, I think I was the only one still stressing about the outcome, to be honest. Everyone thought it was a foregone conclusion that 110 points, it's a walk in the park, but it was absolutely far from anyone that knows motorsport knows that it can turn around so quickly like it did to me at the Gold Coast. So, no, I just had to keep the focus, keep the head down today. One more day of the year, so it's been a long year, just to keep focused for one more day of the year. And it was crazy hot out there, crazy race. I couldn't have asked for a better finish.
Jamie, is it more satisfying knowing that you gave it everything with elbows up than just playing it safe?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. I'm, it's all about walking away at the end of the day and looking yourself in the mirror and have you been true to yourself? Have you done the right thing by everyone? And did it plan out the way you wanted it to? And that was all part of it for me, just to race hard right till the end. And I'll sometimes it turns pear-shaped, but you take that. But it didn't today.
How much were you looking forward to the Race of Champions that's now been cancelled or at least postponed?
Yeah, I do enjoy Race of Champions, representing my country. That's always good for any athlete. Unfortunately, it has been postponed till early next year. Got a new race suit, and got my Vegemite packed and all ready to go. And I was disappointed I didn't do a good job last year. The first time I'd driven a left-hand drive car, which is a bit of a trip out around a little concrete canyon. So I'd done a little bit more practice this year, and I was trying to represent the country a little bit better. I was planning to, but it has been postponed. I'm testing another car there on Thursday, and I've got a few mates coming over who also raced today to have a bit of a holiday for 4 days afterwards. So I'm still going to go. Hopefully I avoid the rioting, and have a good holiday.
You get on well with
Mick? Everyone gets along well with Mick. He's a good bloke. He knows more people than anyone else. He's unbelievable. He's a good guy. He's got a go-kart track. He lives about 10 minutes from me, and he's got all the toys and knows all the connections. Angelina Jolie staying in his house last week. He's unbelievable. That guy, he just knows everyone. So you roll into Race of Champions, and he's just walking up to Shuey and Coulthard and that like they're best mates. it's unbelievable. So I'll hang around him. Yeah, well, I've been on a few trips with him, just doing some fun stuff. But no, he's a crazy good operator, and he's one. You know, athletes are pretty dumb away from their sport as far as trying to keep a living happening. So I certainly respect Mick for that. He's probably earning more money now than he did when he was racing bikes.
Bridie, just obviously when you got into when you guys were racing with Jamie, does it play on your mind at all that he's in a championship battle, or is that something that just gets completely blocked out?
I was hoping it was playing on his mind more. You know, certainly don't want to take him out. You know, it was disappointing, that whole incident yesterday with Frosty when D'Alberto hit the wall. You know, and then I ended up in the back of Frosty. You know, you sort of don't want to interfere in what was a good battle for the championship. So. But you know, I didn't feel as though I was taking too much of a risk when I went back down Jamie's inside. If anything, if I was going to end up in his door, I would have just driven down the escape road to miss him. So, you know, but I felt as though I was under control. I was more under control today than what I was yesterday.
One last question, Tony, fire away.
Probably just to you, Joe, because you were talking about the development of the car before. Everyone's now got 12 months under their belt of developing this brand new generation car. We move into 2014 with everyone having that under their belt. How much more fun is next year going to be now that all that development's done and you've got a car that you know can race well? And we saw that we had so many different winners this year. 2014 looks like it's going to be a pretty good year.
Yeah, definitely. I said at Adelaide that I thought our cars were 60% refined, which is a pretty low number, but they were a real animal. And as the years gone on, we've actually just made the car better to drive. You know, so they're much better now. We've got all our information. Everyone's got all their info from all the tracks around the circuit. So we'll definitely be starting at a higher level. So next year the racing is going to be harder, more intense. Much more refined cars, better to drive. So yeah, they're going to be more enjoyable. But at the same time, we love the challenge. You know, there's nothing better than wrestling a car that's a bit of a handful. Mind you, I don't get that very often. But there's nothing better than that challenge also. So it's going to be another big year. But once again, I don't really want to think about it. It's been a long year this year, and we're all just looking forward to a holiday and get away from cars for a bit.
Thanks for your attendance, folks. Been a record year for V8 Supercar Championship Racing, and another record has been equalled with a 5-time winning championship result going Jamie Whincup and his team's ways. Well done to him, and also Shane Van Gisbergen on another win. Happy Christmas, and see you again at the Clipsal 500 next March.